Hello and welcome to Faenza, the Grand Prix of Europe here in Italy. 26 degrees and still set to get hotter around this spectacular hillside circuit set deep in the vineyards of Italy. MX1 riders on their sighting lap getting ready for their first race of the day, and the crowd here supporting one man this weekend, the 222 five-time world champion Antonio Cairoli on the Red Bull KTM, as he begins his quest here to win not only his 6th FIM World Motocross Championship title, but also his first potentially on home soil. So we've got a good crowd here, great conditions, and the stage is set. He didn't have a great qualifying race yesterday, though. Instead, it was Sebastian Pourcel who came home ahead of Christophe Pourcel. Pourcel, Cairoli's main challenger for the championship, 76 points behind at the moment. He came home in 4th. Cairoli, bad start for him. Came from outside the top 20, managed to come home in 14th position. So it's not a done deal here, but as long as Cairoli comes home ahead of Clément de Sales in his first race, he will be crowned world champion. Since we came here last in 2009, the circuit has undergone major changes, notably the start. It's now a tighter left-hander along the bottom and then swinging back up onto the hillside before rejoining the old circuit up the old first uphill area that used to chicane its way through to the top of the hill. The riders then used to be a lot more spread out as well, but we're getting ready to go down the pit lane though. Here's Amy.
We're down on the start line for the MX1 Moto 1. We're in Faenza and it's very warm. Let's go and have a word first with Sean Simpson. You had a nice qualifying race yesterday.
Yeah, to be honest, it was quite good fun. The track was quite a bit different than we usually expect here in Faenza, with a lot of ruts and quite technical pieces. It's quite a bit tighter and more technical than it normally is. So start was key yesterday. I managed to get a great start. I was in 2nd position, and then I was in 2nd all the way until just about the flag, where Christophe Pourcel passed me on the last lap. But looking to do the same again today. I'm enjoying the track and it's nice and hot, so hopefully we go out and yeah, have some good fun.
How have you felt about your second half of the season?
It's been growing good, actually. Last week in Lierop, I rode quite good and strong till the end. We had a technical issue in the first race, which, you know, let me down a little bit. Other than that, you know, I just want to try and, you know, finish the season off strong, really. So, yeah, that's going to be it.
Best of luck out there. We're going to move down the start line and also have a word with Evgeny Bobryshev. Actually, we'll sneak in here. Bobby, you had quite a good qualifying race yesterday. Were you happy with it?
Yeah, like we had a good test last week, so I'm happy with the bike, feel comfortable. So track is a little bit rough at the moment, so but see what's going to happen after the start, and hoping for good results, really.
All the best, Bobby. Right, before we see the MX1 race one, we're going to take a look behind the scenes of one of our team reports. Tell me about the name. Where did Team 2B come from?
The name 2B, because...
Well, 2B because the name Broyer, that's my name. And then Boulier is my main sponsor. His son is riding with us. We have 2 riders. And we care a lot about the young riders in France. We have a 2nd rider, Thibaut Boulier, who rides in the French Championship Miniver.
You have 1 rider in MX1 this year. What was the plan at the beginning of the season?
Le plan en début de saison.
Well, the plan at the beginning of the season with my sponsors, with Yamaha Motor France and Yamaha Europe, was to finish in the top 10 with Greg Aranda in MX1 World Championship. And then after that, to become French champion for the Motocross Elite. And then to take part at the end of the season in the European Supercross Championship and Bercy Supercross. These are our main goals from the beginning of the season until the end.
But it's been an unlucky season for Gregory.
Well, unfortunately, we weren't able to chase our goal in motocross because Gregory picked up a leg injury during the winter while he was training for Supercross. So we missed all the first part of the season. He arrived at the first GP without having made any training, and he got injured again in Bulgaria. Then we prefer to have a break, come back to the GP in Lockett, where he made a great GP finish in 10th.
Greg, you picked up your best result on your return in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, I rode in the Czech Republic for my return, finishing 10th, and I was glad because I had a good rhythm. In Great Britain and at Lirot, didn't go so well, but at Lirot we expected that anyway, so.
And we've got 2 rounds left. What's the objective?
I'd like to finish in the top 10 this weekend here in Italy, and then for the last race in Germany, try to take some good time practice. Top 2 in the races here and Germany as well. Adam Wheeler joins me from ontrackoffroad.com. Adam Wheeler, welcome to the booth yet again on what is a very hot day here in Faenza, round 15 of 16 in the FIA Motocross World Championship. It's the European round here at Faenza, and Tony Cairoli on the verge of taking what would be world title number 6.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. It must be touching nearly 30 degrees out there. I managed to find some shade, like, well, a great degree of the public as soon as that race had finished in MX2. But you know, laying it on the line, there's no complicated sort of point situation here. If Tony finishes in front of Clement de Salle, then the championship's done.
The FIA MX1 riders making their way down the line. Tony Cairoli in splendid fluorescent yellow boots and helmet as he takes his position on the gate. Adam Wheeler from ontrackoffroad.com, you joined me here in the race commentary area. Didn't have a great qualifying yesterday, did he? Tony Cairoli started way outside the top 20 and eventually found his way back to 14th. Didn't make a great start, got held up around turn 3, and it proved to be a very difficult circuit for him to overtake on yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday in the press conference he said that the races in Italy, Fermo and Faenza, of course, he said, you know, they're his hardest tracks of the year, oddly enough, and he used most of his bad luck yesterday, you'd hope. He had a broken goggles through a rock on the track. He also had a gate that bounced, I think, a little bit on the slot he chose yesterday, and he said he tried to pass Mark de Ruver in the heat and made a bit of an aggressive kind of manoeuvre and went down. So, you know, that's pretty 3 eventful things in a 20-minute sprint.
But a guy who could and did make his way through, Mr. Technical himself, Christophe Pourcel, 15th, 16th round the first turn on the Pro Circuit Monster Energy Kawasaki. Obviously came home in second behind brother Sebastian in what was a Pourcel 1-2, and he rode absolutely fantastic, didn't he, Christophe Pourcel?
Yeah, I mean, we watched that race yesterday from high up on the hill, and his technique through that little rhythm section at the bottom with the tabletop and into the double-double, it was pretty impressive.
Well, he's going to be looking, and a lot of people saying, actually, if he gets a good start, and maybe even if he doesn't, depending on the track conditions and how it suits him, he could be the guy that walks away with the overall Grand Prix this weekend. And but he's got to beat that guy first, though. Sebastian Pourcel, the CP377 Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. His older brother, Sebastian Pourcel, and there they are, both lining up. It was interesting yesterday as well, as a 15-second board goes up. The rider there in gate number 2, Christophe Pourcel and Gauthier Paulin, started together, didn't they? And obviously those two bang bars, and it was Paulin who actually came across Pourcel because Pourcel stole his gate pick in the qualifying race. So the two French are going to be going at it here. The 5-second board turns, the gate about to drop. Now, good jump there for the number 11 of Sebastian Pourcel, and he drags out everybody to the first corner. There was no problems through there yesterday, and Simpson. It's pretty good through there as well today. Yeah, and Simpson
and Coppins, sorry, Paul,
gets another good start. So the two Monster Energy Yamahas and Cairoli in there in 4th position, around the outside in those boots. Clement de Salle around about 7th or 8th place. So at the moment, this is perfect for Tony Cairoli, but 35 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Anything can happen, and it probably will.
Where is the Salle, Paul? Where is the Salle?
Was that 5th
place? I think he's in 5th there.
Both the two Suzukis are in there, looking 7th and 8th, maybe.
That's the sub-story here. We've got to keep an eye on the, you know, those fluorescent boots, Tony Cairoli, and also Clement de Salle, number 25 on that Rockstar Energy Suzuki, factory Suzuki. Nagel.
Nagel's out. So where's that? That's Graham
It's
Irwin as well.
isn't it? It's near the start, no?
Coming, maybe going into the first jumps, coming out of there somewhere. So Nagel out, it seems, at the moment, and not looking good for the German. But at the top of the hill, number 11, Sebastian Pourcel, the 222 in the orange and yellow there. Cairoli, Sean Simpson in third position. Coppin's already being pushed back a place or two, as Sebastian Pourcel, who won here in 2007.
His first Grand Prix. Christophe in fourth as well. Paul, just keep an eye there. And this in front of Coppins, yeah.
Oh, we've got riders going down in the background. Was it one of the Suzukis as well?
Was it Leoc? I think it might have been Leoc.
So we're on board with Christophe Pourcel as he goes after Sean Simpson through this very, very rutty part of the circuit. Dropping downhill, he was super fast down here yesterday, but
perfect.
No one really able to use that outside like he did yesterday, and it'd be interesting to see whether he still has that line, but he scrubbed his way nicely through these 3 or 4 short tabletop jumps past Sal, Simpson, Gonçalves and Bobrishev, you know, throughout the space of the race, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a cracking moto yesterday. But Cairoli's in a perfect position here. I don't think Seb Pourcel's going to be able to keep up this pace the whole race. You know, for the sake of the race, I hope he holds Tony up for a little bit, and we can see maybe 1 or 2, maybe Christophe get a bit closer.
And Tony Cairoli probably knows that as well. Takes a look over his shoulder. He knows obviously he's ahead of Sal at the moment, but it was no, the Suzukis are both in there. So we've got Pourcel, Cairoli, Simpson, and Christophe Pourcel in fourth. Coppins fifth, Sal sixth, Leoc 7, Paulin 8, Gonçalves 9, Bobrishev 10, Milko Podolzek is in 11th place. Then we've got Strybos, McKenzie, Brian McKenzie on the STR, KTM, the private team. So a good start for him. Then we've got Xavier Bourg, Pierre Filippo Gattuso, Jamie Law, Cairoli making a mistake. Then Mihai Kochu, Guarnieri, Albertoni and Kendon Dyker down in 20th, so maybe it was the Dyker who got caught out. Nice lineup on the bank there. Seen a couple of riders do that already through European and MX2 competition, but Tony Cairoli is 76 points ahead of Clement de Sal in the points chase at the moment. Even if they finish second and third, with Cairoli second and de Sal third, Cairoli's world champion because the gap is more than 75 points with just 3 motos of the year to go. Adam Wheeler.
Yeah, he just has to be in front of him, Paul, whether it's 15th or 16th or first and second. It's and look at that lead already. It's such a big gap towards Simpson there. Maybe Simpson's just going to hold up Pourcel a little bit in fourth position.
Christophe.
Yeah, Christophe, of course, and that's you know, that could have a little bit of bearing on the fight for the win in this moto.
Well, Tony Cairoli doesn't have to do any more than he's already doing here, but the amount of race wins and Grand Prix victories that he has, he would like to seal it if he could with a moto win, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I mean, and also, Paul, this track is extremely tricky. There's some very slip and kind of wet parts, and it can catch you out. But as we can see on these TV pictures, there's some big ruts in there as well. It's quite unusual for an Italian circuit.
Yeah, Tony Cairoli doesn't like
He's going
ruts.
for it here on the inside. No.
Switching it across. Atmosphere is great here, bubbling up at the moment as they urge Tony Cairoli on to try and find a way past the number 11 Kawasaki of Sebastian Pourcel. Everybody hanging out every which way they can. There's a lot of personnel from KTM here this weekend, from the normal race team and the backstaff.
Pourcel up to third now in the back of the picture ball. You just watch him come back. I think yesterday we commented on that technique he's using on that downhill section. I think it was almost at least half a second a lap he was getting on the other riders.
And that's probably why Cairoli is just a little bit nervous on the previous lap when he came at the start-finish straight, or the old start-finish straight, just the start straight now, just taking a look back, because he doesn't want anything to be or anybody to take the shine off what is going to be a big day for him here, does he? Potentially. He's already closing in. Look, Christophe Pourcel. I tell you what, Adam Wheeler, this has got the makings to be a classic race here, and so probably maybe even one of the best races of 2012.
I like your optimism there, Paul. I think
between these 3 guys here, Sebastian, obviously, he might just hold up in Cairoli enough to allow Christophe Pourcel to close in, and he's one of the most talented riders that we've seen, you know, in terms of his technical ability and everything else.
Yeah, and his handling of a motorcycle.
And yesterday, he just absolutely sublime around the circuit yesterday.
I mean, I think Seb Pourcel at the moment, you know, not being disrespectful, but he's a little bit of a distraction towards Cairoli. I don't think he'll figure in the battle for this victory. He's made the perfect start, of course, and passing here is not so easy, as Cairoli pointed out several times yesterday to the press.
But then Christophe Pourcel found no problems at all.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if he was in the press conference, he would have gladly pointed that out as well, saying, I had no problem whatsoever. 4 seconds down on Cairoli when he came through at the end of that first official lap was Christophe Pourcel in third place. Josh Coppins in fourth, so Simpson lost a couple of positions there. Look, he's been passed by de Sal and Simpson, and he's now got...
Greg Aranda as well?
Yeah, number 30, 2B, Yamaha.
It's just looking down the lap charts here. I mean, you've got these first three riders, the two Porcels and Cairoli, they're doing sub 2-minute lap times. Everybody else is in a 2:03, 2:01, 2:02. Josh Coppins in fourth place has just done a 2:03. That's quite some distance back. We can't even see them on the camera, so it's obvious.
The blue Yamaha there, Gregory Miranda, he's a back marker, but look at that. What was 4 seconds is not 4 seconds now between Cairoli and Christophe Porcel, because Cairoli's fastest man on track, but then look at that. Straight away, Christophe Porcel goes quicker. 3.4 between Sebastian and Christophe Porcel in first and third, and Cairoli obviously 6.6 of a second down on the race leader, so less than 3 seconds, and he goes through. Wasn't expecting that. A brave move, and the crowd erupt here up on the hillside as Cairoli just wastes no time in getting to the front here. Goes past Sebastian Porcel, and he's going to look to try and distance himself now between the two Porcel brothers. Adam Wheeler came from out of nowhere. Sebastian Porcel wasn't expecting it, and I've not seen anybody make a pass through there all weekend long. Yeah, I mean, Tony's on the move. I mean, it might have something to do with the fact I'm not sure if he had a quick look across, but Clement de Sal's now up into fourth place. Tony's got a 9-second advantage to win that championship. I mean, we're only talking the first 7 minutes of this moto, but you know, Clement de Sal also making a move in fourth position. Can he try and, you know, upset the little party here in the first moto? Well, obviously he rode a better race than Tony Cairoli in the qualifying race yesterday, but the track conditions aren't easy. They're very tricky. There's a lot of movement coming into those ruts, whether you're on a flat turn or going down a hill and everything else. So for Clement de Sal to close in on Tony Cairoli, his lap time last time around of 59.4 was only 4/10 slower than Cairoli, who's on the charge. He's got to ride a little bit over himself potentially to close down that gap to keep his own World Championship alive. We've seen Tony Cairoli superb this season, but I don't think I've seen him faster or stronger. But, you know, this is not one of his favourite tracks, and I think, you know, we might not see him disappear. And, oh, amazing. That's why he's jumping so far down the hill. He's alongside his brother. Seb will move over now, watch. Yeah. No resistance there. Not going to get involved, and this will be interesting now. We'll see the lap times from Cairoli, who's just here, look. And Christophe Porcel has clearly had his Weetabix and got out of the bed on the right side this morning, but Cairoli 1:57.1, fastest man on track. Christophe Porcel 1:57.0, so only a tenth in it. But another fastest lap, Paul. Yeah. That's 2 in a row for Porcel. But the important thing is he's got clear air now between him and Tony Cairoli. He'll just want to win the race and win the Grand Prix. He's not bothered that Cairoli's on the verge of winning another World Championship. He just wants to win another moto because apparently maybe not even signed a deal for next year, Christophe Porcel, so has to perform now, doesn't he? No, that's the absurd thing about it. He's probably the most high-profile, I think fourth, only just fourth in the championships. It can still take third, so it's, you know, I mean, have you ever heard of a rider's third in the World Championship still doesn't have a deal by the penultimate Grand Prix of the year? It's a little unusual. There's Clement de Sal, first we've seen of him so far, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider, number 25, that yellow machine. He's down in fourth place at the moment. He's 8 seconds behind Sebastian Porcel, 9 seconds behind Christophe Porcel, 11.5 down on Tony Cairoli, our race leader, who he has to find a way past to give himself every opportunity to win the World Championship, or at least take it to the second moto. A little later on today, Clement de Sal, but where he is at the moment, and the lap times that he's turning in, that time around a 59.5 compared to a 57.1, looking very difficult from here on in, but still got plenty of time left. 26 plus 2, a lot can happen on what is a very difficult racetrack. And Sean Simpson there just in the background, he's pushed up into fifth, so Josh Coppins made a fantastic start. He said his goal was to try and get top 10 finishes, the Australian champion this year. Well, the New Zealander who won the Australian Championship. Look at the difference in lines here. Oh, no, a little bit. Not as far this time. But that's risky, Paul. That's you know, that's pretty, I don't know, it's a lot of balls really to do that coming down that hill, isn't it? I think he over-jumped on that particular occasion when he ran alongside his brother, because he landed in the deep stuff as well, and maybe that spooked him a little bit. But look at this, the gap between first and second, Cairoli and Christophe Porcel. I think it's going to be an interesting press conference, and what Christophe says to people after this race, if he can beat Cairoli and clear off, because this is the best we've seen him ride for a couple of GPs, I think. Yeah, well, he wasn't even in the races, was he, at Leerop, and Christophe Porcel before that. Yeah, Great Britain, Lockett was the best, second and a third, so. It's also worth mentioning, Paul, that he's got a slight fracture in his shoulder blade, so we'll see if he can last the distance here. Well, Tony Cairoli and Christophe Porcel, that's the battle for the lead right now here in race 1. Nice line for Christophe Porcel, round the outside, staying out of the ruts. Nice line hopping up onto the bank there. Tony Cairoli, I'm sure Christophe Pourcel may be doing it as well. Otherwise, it's a big square hole that the riders have to hit. Stops the forward momentum as well a little bit. Not good for potential puncture risk either. Here's Josh Coppins, Monster Energy Yamaha rider, number 6. Former runner-up in the World Championship on more than one occasion. He's been in Australia for the last 2 years, chasing glory there. He's, as you said a moment ago, Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffroad.com. He picked up that Australian Championship just a week ago, and here he is on a plane riding for the old team, even working with the old mechanic as Leok again makes a mistake similar to what he did at Matsley Basin a few weeks ago, but manages to keep it upright and not lose a position this time around. But it's good to see Josh Coppins back, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Josh is the consummate professional, really, isn't he? 35 years old, but he can still hang it out in the top 10. Finished 10th yesterday in the qualification heat. Was disappointed with his first lap. So, you know, there's a little bit of fire still there. He's running this GP and also in the GP of Germany, and Paul Ann on the attack now with Leok. You know, don't be surprised to see him, you know, really making an impression there. He rode for Yamaha 3 years, of course, 2007 to 2009, also on the factory Aprilia. 4 factory motorcycles in a 15-year career. So he's Josh has been there and done that, definitely.
We're just looking at the number 4 and the number 21 of Tano Leok and Gauthier Paulin again. Just jumps a little bit long, looks a little bit sketchy at the bottom of the hill there.
Some big crashes there, Paul, over the weekend. Dylan Ferrandis.
That was just through here, actually.
Yeah, and that coming into that section.
At the bottom of the hill, yeah, already. But yeah, there's Gauthier Paulin, the 21. He's
Dessau now 3rd.
Getting tasty. Gauthier Paulin, though, who was down in 8th place when we last looked behind Tano Leok. He's 3rd place in the championship, 16 points ahead of Christophe Pourcel. So we've obviously got the battle for 1st and 2nd between Cairoli and Dessau in the championship, and then we've got 3rd and 4th between Paulin and Pourcel, who, let's be blunt about it, don't really see eye to eye, do they?
No, I don't think it's fair to say they're not friends.
I mean, on the front of, I think it was Moto magazine, there was a strap line there saying, from Gauthier Paulin on one of the features, I don't respect Christophe Pourcel as a person. So doesn't get any more intense than that, does it? The two French riders on the same bike, but not in the same team.
I mean, you know, Christophe's a special rider, Paul, but you know, you could say he's a special person as well. Maybe that's why there hasn't been a good contract, a good factory ride coming up until whenever. I mean, most of the factory rides are full for 2013. It's difficult to know where he'll go. He said his heart's in the USA, so let's see what comes up in the next couple of weeks. And Sean Simpson now just trying to, you know, eat at the back of Sébastien Pourcel.
Forget now who it was that I was talking to, but Sean Simpson, if he could take his qualifying form into the motos, he would probably be on a factory ride next year, wouldn't he?
That's what we were saying yesterday, Paul. Yeah, it's you know, Sean was 2nd, I think, for most of the qualification heat yesterday. Pourcel just got him on the last lap. You know, nothing bad about that at all, because I think Christophe Pourcel is the exceptional rider here this weekend.
He was the fastest rider as well, lap 5, 1:53, quicker than anybody else by far.
But Tony's responding a little bit. I mean, that was like a second, you know, a lap ago. I think it's a little bit more now.
Yeah, maybe 0.5.
I mean, we've seen Christophe, you know, even on the onboard camera, taking a couple of risks and hitting a few ruts that, you know, it's an aggressive style we're not used to seeing so often throughout this season. But maybe it's going to reach a point where he thinks, right, okay, you know, I'm not really going to push it. I'm not going to extend over the edge to try and catch a guy that's, you know, got some kind of world championship destiny. That's getting more and more rutty, that corner there. It's pretty flat, you know, even at the start of the MX2 race, but it's churning up nicely.
And it's dark under the trees as well. I mean, there's not much of a tree there, but you go from the extreme brightness to, you know, where those ruts are, right under the shade there. It really does catch you out, as we saw going down the hill yesterday.
And that onboard camera image there was some fascinating insight into what Christophe Pourcel's doing. You know, there was 4 lines in the inside of that right-hand turn, and he picked the one on the outside and is just going across on that bank.
And he used that line yesterday, didn't he, as well? Around here, he came a little bit further, got more drive, was jumping longer off of this jump, and we could see him closing on guys, but just not getting the drive to do something about it around here. But there's Evgeny Bobryshev, the Honda World Motocross rider, 777. He's down in 9th place at the moment. In fact, is he 8th? Has he found the way past Paulin?
He's got a little group there to work ahead, isn't he? I mean, Bobryshev was another strong rider yesterday.
Gone past Paulin. Paulin's made a mistake. Because here's Coppins in 6th, there's Tano Leok in 7th, Bobryshev is in 8th place, and Gauthier Paulin now has dropped a place down to 9th. The number 30 is a lap down, Gregory Aranda. See, look, Bobryshev and Paulin.
Leok there, just getting it a little bit wrong.
So don't know what happened to Gauthier Paulin, but
Strybos attacking the back of Paulin as well, Paul.
that's who I was looking at then, just thinking, who is that in the background? But the number 22, HM Plant KTM, we're going down to pit lane, and I guess we're talking the Monster Energy Yamaha, and Josh Coppin's corner.
Josh Coppins making a welcome return back to the GPs after ending a great year with the Australian Championship win.
Yeah, for him this is the first race, so sure it's not easy because you don't know the other rider, the speed he have. Team a really strong rider. He's sure in the season he working really hard, and yeah, we see he's still really fast. You have to remember also him is 35 years, so but him is really strong and very good guy.
Thank you, Vino.
Yeah, 35 years doing the team crowd at the moment, but look at that in the background, the red Honda of Evgeny Bobashev and the yellow Suzuki of Tanel Liot going at it. They're trading paint over 7th position, it seems, at the moment. Yes, as they come over the line. Evgeny Bobashev in a hurry to find his way up the higher end of the leaderboard. Had a great second moto in Lirop a week ago in the deep sand. Probably wasn't expecting that, a 4th place finish there, but here he is going after Tanel Liot. It's the battle for 6. Oh, Rui Gonçalves gone out, big crash. So Rui Gonçalves, that's coming back down towards the big drop-off. So the old turn used to go round Golden Tire and up the hill. And there's a lot of big ruts down there, and looks like he's pretty much ended up there, Rui Gonçalves. So, yeah, as you come back in, where we saw Dodika go down this morning, look at that, there's 22. Kevin Strybos on the back of the 21, Gauthier Paulin, who just looks to have lost his rhythm a little bit here in the first moto. But just there in the background, just before
behind
the UFO.
that UFO, yeah, it's that's the takeoff where Pourcel was hitting on that big outside.
Just there in the background, see the yellow flags there at the top of the hill. So you come down, there's deep ruts through there, and it might just be that he's come in too hot and just cross-rutted and been spat over the side off to the left. And yeah, it doesn't look good for Rui Gonçalves. But of course, we'll give you more information on that if we know anything, if there is anything to learn. But here's his teammate, the 777 of Evgeny Bobashev.
It'd be good actually, Paul, if someone down in the pit lane we could find out from KTM, you know, what's happened to Max Nagel.
Yeah. Well, there's 21, Gauthier Paulin struggling at the moment. Strybos, though, just not close enough to make a pass at the moment. There's Rui Gonçalves being attended to out there in the background, so he's still down. Oh, the back end getting pitched pretty ugly through there. Actually, it was just, could have gone a lot worse there for Gauthier Paulin, but he corrected it, body weight and everything else. But yeah, just not looking good for him. Tanel Liot's gone through, so too has Bobashev. Bobashev all over the back of the Suzuki as they come back towards us here to complete what will be their 8th lap of the moto. Tony Cairoli 2.8 seconds clear of Christophe Pourcel at the head of the field. Lamar de Sal in 3rd, but he's 20 seconds down on the battle for the lead, and any chance of taking the World Championship title chase to the second moto, it would appear at the moment. Sebastian Pourcel is in 4th place, Sean Simpson in 5th on the Monster Energy Yamaha, ahead of his teammate this weekend, Josh Coppins, in 6th. Then we've got Tanel Liot and Evgeny Bobashev, Gauthier Paulin and Kevin Strybos just here. Number 22, the HM Plant KTM UK rider in orange. Something flapping there on the left side of Gauthier Paulin's knee, on the top of his riding jeans. Not sure if he's gone in deep on somebody.
Is that buckle come undone or something like that? Or is it on the bike or on...
Jeans are hanging out the top of the boot. I just wonder whether he's gone in on somebody and maybe got their handlebar in and it's ripped the jeans and maybe pulled off the knee brace or something
just
like
one
that.
of those ruts even for him. This is Sean Simpson again just trying to get past Seb Pourcel.
He was nice through there yesterday, Sean Simpson.
Yeah.
Looks like the 11 though, Sebastian Pourcel has closed in and found his line though.
What do you reckon on this track, Paul? Is it? I mean, from what I can see and what I can judge, it's riders can attack it, they get a rhythm going, but then one kind of little mistake or one little warning, and it's a case of okay, I've got to back it off here, otherwise I'm going to take a big
Simpson
risk.
up the inside. Yeah, it's just very difficult.
It's far from easy, is it? It's just to keep consistent every lap is
knack-knacks through the turn there for Sean Simpson, right at the wrong moment. Rui's out of the way. So that's good to see, but the number 11, yeah, I mean, back to what you were saying a moment ago, Adam Wheeler, on trackoffroad.com, it's a difficult track. You can't race the track. You've got to ride it. You've got to respect it. Deep ruts, they can bite back at any time. They're very sticky, and once you get in there as well, it becomes very grabby on the wheels as well. Yeah. So, the guys are really fighting. Even the small braking bumps that were appearing at the end of the straight yesterday, they're not that big, but they unsettle the bike, something chronic. And you then add a downhill to that, and then that soft ground as well. you know, it's pretty critical. Here he is, doing his best Jeremy McGrath impression. Sean Simpson. Whee! I tell you what, that's a groin injury right there if he's not careful. That's what Max Nagel, that's how his back problem started. You know, when you read his interview.
Hyperflexion or something like that, is it? But no, I think it's just that the point being that the rhythm of these riders. I mean, Evgeny Bobryshev, a classic example, he's taken a while to really get into this race. Now he's picking it up and finding a bit more confidence to really attack these ruts. But it could just be one little slip, something there like Sean Simpson, and suddenly his lap times drop for another 2 or 3 laps. Maybe we've seen it with Gauthier Paulin, you know, a bit of damage to his boots or his riding pants there, and it's. You know, God, I'm glad I'm in here commentating on it rather than trying to ride around it.
Yeah, off the back there, almost for the 777. Look at that, there's Coppins in the background, just been overtaken by Bobby, the Russian, here, number 777. And that is now for 7th place. So Coppins down in 8th, the number 6. Gauthier Paulin just behind them. Oh, is this
Coppins? The passing move.
Yeah. Oh, just ran it wide.
Got out the rut.
Got unseated as well, and then Bobryshev was always there though, wasn't he? He was always going to maybe run him up onto the face of the jump anyway. If not there, then into the next right.
Simpson past Porcel?
No,
not yet.
No, not quite. In the background, we've got Tenol Leot. So Sean Simpson here, the 24 in 5th place at the moment, having a great ride. His best ride for a while actually, since switching to that. Although having said that, he was 5th in the second moto, wasn't he, in Leroy? Forgot about that.
Is 4th his highest moto finish this year, I think, or is it still
Sean
the
Simpson?
5th?
No, 4th and a 5th in Nudavella.
Yeah.
Which was just off the podium as well. He was on for 3rd place finish there when he was in that 3rd place, wasn't he?
I don't think we've seen a Briton on the podium for a good few years, actually, for Billy Mackenzie, perhaps the last one.
Yeah, it will be in MX1.
And Cairoli's got well, it was nearly 3 seconds, now it's 2.
Let's make it more dramatic, 1.9, actually. But Cairoli just climbing his way up onto the bank here. This is quite a technical part of the circuit as well. Yesterday or Thursday when we did our track walk, it was nice and flowing to get up onto the top here, but definitely slowed down a lot with the ruts and the different lines and the bumps that have been created as well. So here we are on board with Christophe Porcel, the light shining directly behind the riders as they go down the hill. They cannot see the holes until they hit them. So difficult conditions here at Faenza. Sunlight bursting down directly into the eyes of Christophe Porcel as he heads uphill halfway around his 10th lap here at Faenza, the European round of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. Tony Cairoli leads him by 1.9 seconds. And this guy here, the 25, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider, Clément de Sal, is 3rd, but 25 seconds further back in what looks like, well, it's just going to be a comfortable 3rd place finish and potentially end any chances of him wrapping up or taking the World Championship chase to the 2nd moto. It's going to be Tony Cairoli's day at the moment, but still 12 minutes to go. Adam Wheeler from ontrackoffroad.com. Tony Cairoli finally got a good start, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to believe he's only sort of 13. Oh, and Coppins just getting done by the Diker there. He's finally got a shift on after that poor start. It'd be interesting to hear from him what happened on that first lap later on. But Cairoli, like 13, 14 minutes away from, I don't know, 5 months and 15 Grand Prix of hard work and that completely freak Grand Prix in Sweden where he just picked up a double DNF.
Yeah.
So
just going back to Coppins being undone there by Paulin and De Dijker. 20-minute motos, aren't there, in Australia?
Three of them as well.
So not used to riding 35 plus 2 as De Dijker getting ready to upset the 21 of Gauthier Paulin.
So the line's blocked there. He's not going to get through there.
No, he's going to try and square him off here, look. Novel?
No, too rough.
And too boggy as well. A lot of dirt has been moved down there and it's just drying probably in the wrong places.
And Coppins coming back.
Yeah. Over the line, 11 laps complete for the number 9, Ken De Dijker, who now finds himself in 9th place. So, 10.5 minutes to go. Cairoli, Christophe Porcel and Clément de Sal with Sebastian Porcel, his best finish of the year so far, in 4th. Then we've got the 5th place of Sean Simpson, then Tenol Leot, Evgeny Bobryshev, Gauthier Paulin, Ken De Dijker, who we're looking at here in 9th place, and then the number 6 of Josh Coppins, Monster Energy Yamaha, just behind. Then it's the 22 of Kevin Strybos, Aiken Plant KTM. In 11th place, then Guarnieri, Silver Action KTM in 12th. Xavier Bourg, Factory Kawasaki. He'll be disappointed down there at 13th, but as we saw yesterday, Adam Wheeler, very difficult to overtake. But look at that, Brian Mackenzie started 13th, and he's still there at 14th on the STR KTM, doing the team and him absolutely a world of good, isn't he? Because those guys have had it tough this year. STR,
oh, Paulin, so
back
close.
marker. Looks like he got his front wheel tag there as well.
I mean, what was Paul Laan doing? I mean, you could see the back marker. It was just running, carried a bit too much corner speed. But no, you're right, Paul. I mean, Brian's been riding pretty good, pretty consistent, and that's why he's kept that position. And, you know, maybe on the last time we saw Tony Cairoli leading this race from Christophe Pourcel, he'd made a mistake because now the gap's up to over 4 seconds.
That was last time around, and Cairoli already over the line now, 4.7. So, yeah, going out again.
Nearly 5.
Yeah.
Nearly 5.
But Brian McKenzie, though, STR, KTM, brilliant for him at the moment. Cousin of Billy McKenzie, who we mentioned earlier, he's down there in 14th place ahead of the HDI Honda France Honda of Milko Podolzek and Mark Deruva, Jamie Law. So both STR guys inside the points, 14th and 17th.
Is going for it this time, Paul.
Yeah, but he got squeezed here last time, didn't he?
He's going to need to get it down. No. Paul Laan just coming across. It's going to frustrate him. But he's going to go wide again. I don't think he's going to get really what he needs out of that line.
No. And he showed his hand before, did Paul Laan. So Ken Dyker should have known that, really. He wasn't going to go through on the left-hand side unless it's absolutely, you know, bar to bar with him going down. They've lost a lot of ground there
every lap. It's just, you know, follow Paul Laan's line, because you might be able to get close enough to his rear wheel to get him on the inside going into that start-finish. You can at least push him wide a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Ken's not afraid of pushing anybody wide as well.
No, he's not. He's certainly Mr. Muscle, isn't he? He definitely muscle anybody out of the way. But there he is, down there still in 9th place. This guy, though, having a good second half of the race. 777 of Evgeny Bobashev, just trying to latch onto the rear wheel of the number 4 here, the yellow Suzuki, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki of Tanel Leop. So going after 6th position now, the red and white Honda of Evgeny Bobashev. See that hole there, and Cairoli just dancing around the top of that. And obviously that's what I was on about, you know, it's quite a big hole as well. Sean Simpson, though, coming under attack from the number 4 of Tanel Leop. So his 5th place is not secure at the moment.
Just there, while you were looking at the pictures, Paul, I just had a look at the lap chart here, and Tony Cairoli set his best lap of the race on the last one, 56.6. It's not the fastest lap of the race, but it's his best.
Yeah.
And that's where he's broken Pourcel.
And that was only 1/10 slower than the fastest lap of the race,
Christophe Pourcel. And we're on lap 12, lap 13 now. So, I mean, Cairoli in that one lap has just kind of a little bit broken the challenge of Christophe Pourcel. And the gap, as they've just gone across the line, 6 seconds. As we watch this battle between Sean Simpson and Tanel Leop, 6 seconds, that's a cushion.
Yeah. And 7 minutes to go. He can afford now just to keep one eye on where Christophe Pourcel is and not start thinking too much about celebrations, but he can start to just maybe relax a little bit. But then, having said that, you know, he's been in this position before. He might not be listening to the bike every corner, every turn, every slip gear and all the rest of it. You know, he's well drilled in terms of winning and closing down the deal, isn't he, Tony Cairoli?
And just looking here, Paul, it's a case of Tanel Leop was trying to pass Sean Simpson a moment ago, and now he's got Evgeny Bobashev to think about. And Seb Pourcel, just ahead of this group in the battle for 4th position, has some back markers to deal with. So, you know, last 5 minutes could get quite interesting.
4-way battle. The Kawasaki of Sebastian Pourcel, the black Yamaha there, the yellow Suzuki, and the red Honda of Sebastian Pourcel, Sean Simpson, Tanel Leop, and Evgeny Bobashev. Going to take Paul Laan just behind them as well.
Leop on the inside, trying to go past Simpson. Is he going to make it on the drive up the hill? No.
Not quite. Goes round the outside, though, but he's going to get squeezed. Oh, no.
He's done it.
Oh. Nice line, though. Very Christophe Pourcel, actually, high and wide and just drop in after a load of braking bumps. But surprised I've not been able to see those wheel tracks up and around the bank there from Cairoli. But look at this. This is the where Sebastian Pourcel now is going to start to have problems. He's got the Yamaha of Sean Simpson and the number 4, Tanel Leop, queuing up behind him.
The outside line from Leop there, Paul, he's going to have to hit that really hard to try and pass on the inside, because that's a risky move. We stood on that hill yesterday. It's much steeper than it looks.
Bobashev just lost a load of time down there. And then we've got Ken Dyker. So a 5-way battle then for 4th place with Sebastian Pourcel, Sean Simpson, Tanel Leop, Evgeny Bobashev, and Ken Dyker. Right, so there we go. They're 11. The 4. Has Simpson gone through?
Simpson's gone through. Simpson's 4th place.
So Simpson's gone through then. The Kawasaki's gone through.
And Bobashev as well.
Dyker, 2 back markers ahead of him. That's what Rui Gonçalves would have done.
Yeah.
Just got cross-rutted and over the bars.
And there goes a collarbone.
A collarbone or anything, because, I mean, look at that. I mean, the handlebar. You imagine laying the bike on its side and how high those handlebars are. Wheel to wheel. Bobashev, this is where he got done by Pourcel yesterday. Does the same to Tanel Leop. Puts a squeeze on him.
Fantastic stuff. And now Porcel's not giving up on the back of Simpson either.
So Simpson then over the line now in 4th place. So we've got Tony Cairoli, Christophe Pourcel, Clement de Salle, and then about, 12, 13 seconds down on them, we've got Sean Simpson in 4th, Sebastian Pourcel, the green Kawasaki there in 5th, the red Honda 777 of Bobashev in 6th, then the yellow Suzuki of Tanao Leo in 7th, and the KTM there, the number 9 of Ken Dodika, he's in 8th place. So we've got this battle all the way down from 4th place with that man there, Sean Simpson. Oh, smoking Kawasaki as well, look. Of Sebastian Pourcel. So he can find himself going out of the race here in the remaining 5 minutes plus 2.
And where's Paulin as well? Has he dropped off the back, or has he got anything left in this? Because it could be 6 riders involved in this. And little mistake there, just going into that corner from Seb Pourcel.
It's a very difficult corner there. Very slow, very bumpy going into it. And you run it too hot, you've got a steep wall to negotiate, and then you're just going to flip over like we just saw the back marker a moment ago.
And Leot must be thinking, what's going on? I was fighting for 4th position a minute ago, and now he's down in 7th. And Dodika about to grab him.
Back marker doing his best to get out of the way. August Just, I think that was there, the 95. But look at this. 5th, 6th, 7th. Dodika 8th on the orange KTM. There's
Simpson's got some air.
Yeah, and he's just going to try and pull the pin here and not get undone on the final lap like he did in Lira by Bobashev just a week ago.
Yeah, Simpson just 5-6 minutes away from the season best.
Up the inside of Bobashev.
I don't know where he was going on that little outside line. I mean, there's a couple of lines that Bobashev's trying and it's not really working out. The same for the Dodika going through that rhythm section.
There'll be some nervous faces down on pit lane in the Kawasaki camp because that Kawasaki here, Sebastian Pourcel, number 11, definitely blowing a little bit of smoke. It might just be an oil seal or something like that, but has that been slowing him down, or is it just a matter of fatigue and a lack of fitness in the second half of this race? He's looking over actually across the track, but look at this, Leo, Bobashev, Dodika, the 4, the 777 and the number 9. This time Dodika, he's on the right line, is he? He's going to find a way up the inside of the Russian. He goes through. Doesn't quite go through. Yeah, he does. He manages to pull it off.
Oh, he's looking at Zagili. He's just stamping on there, but he's obviously got a problem, like you said. Is that engine going to give up?
There's a seal gone through there for him, so he's just going to try and... Well, I'd expect him just to try and pull it home now. Gauthier Paulin just behind him in the background, coming back into view. So look at this, Simpson, he's disappeared. He's got a couple seconds on the yellow Suzuki here, Tanao Leo for 4th place. Here's Tony Cairoli though. He's 3.2 seconds clear, our race leader. And as the graphic says, he is our virtual FIM MX1 Motocross champion. That'll be the 6th time for him as well.
4th in a row in MX1.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
And the Dodika is really the proactive rider of this group. On Leot, nice inside lock.
And Bobashev going through on the number 11 of Sebastian Pourcel, who's clearly got problems and fights back. A nice tight line at the inside there. So despite having problems there, maybe he's just stuck in 2nd or 3rd gear, yeah, the Frenchman.
You're saying the Kawasaki team are going to be nervous in the pit. I think the Honda guys will be like, whoa.
Yeah, big puff of smoke there as well, just through that KTM turn.
I keep thinking we've lost someone, but Sean's taken a 2-second advantage. If he finishes 4th, that'll be his best result of the year. Had a good GP in Lirop as well, so it's some good form for the Brit.
I think he's stuck in gear, the Kawasaki, because Bobashev got good drive coming out of the hill, what was a wide line, and managed to reel right back on the reel in the Kawasaki just ahead of him there, number 11, who's just going to ride defensive now, I would think.
Yeah. 1 minute to go, 3 laps.
Yeah, definitely 3 laps to go.
Do you think they'll get down and make another one? We're doing 1:56, 2 minutes lap time.
It's going to be 4 laps to go, isn't it?
And Cairoli should be coming across the finish line in a moment.
Has done.
30 odds. Yep.
Has done
just
already.
Just done. And Pourcel, 3 seconds the gap now. But I mean, Cairoli, of course, will want to win this race, Paul, but he doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't have to. But if he's going to win the world title and win it on home soil, he doesn't want to disappoint the fans. And let's go back a year, of course. He won the world championship at Geldorf and then came to Italy. Obviously, his mother passed away just the day before the Grand Prix, and obviously didn't get to ride as a world champion on home soil. So here he is, Tony Cairoli, about to celebrate almost a year, I guess, to the day. So what a turn of events, really, in that respect. You know, what a difference a year can make.
And also, I think wearing those boots, he really has to win the race to win the world championship.
I'm not saying anything. He's been with it. Actually, I was talking to Rosella Signori, the
Mr. City.
Yeah, and well, I think the daughter actually, and she was saying that I said I seem to remember Tony Cairoli being in you know, City boots all his life, and she said, yeah, you know, I think he wore another brand from when he first started, but since maybe 11 or 12 years old, he's been a City rider. And it's one of those where you pick a boot, a goggle, a helmet, or whatever, and you stay with that brand for the rest of your career.
If you've got a choice, of course.
If you've got a choice, of course. And Tony Cairoli, obviously more than comfortable with his choice of boot. And they've done some good designs for him over the years as well, haven't they? But here he is, and there's the team all getting ready. That's the old man, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 2 laps to go then for Tony Cairoli. Christophe Pourcel has given up the fight, and the fans here are about to start to celebrate here as well. And they've probably been celebrating the whole moto, actually. They've not shut up, have they? The whole moto. Everywhere, every lap around the circuit, the flags have been flying, the fans have been cheering. And Tony Cairoli has definitely woken up. He said, actually, in the press conference, or maybe it was Sebastian Pourcel, actually, who won the qualifying race, because I think Mariano Lever, our press officer down there, asked the question, what are you going to do? You've got the first choice. And he said, to be honest, it doesn't matter where you start. It's all about the jump, because it's a long drag race up to that first turn. But you do need to be maybe in those green gates and maybe the first 3 or 4 white gates in order to get out clean and give yourself a good chance, the straightest line option in that first turn.
Yeah,
Tony Cairoli did that.
There's no cutting inside either, Paul. You've got to be in the first top 5, top 6, you know, to make the breakaway. I mean, we've seen riders like Kender Dijker, Jody Bobashev making good speed, but they haven't really been able to catch any of these top 3 guys. And Tony Cairoli, since he picked up that double DNF in Sweden, Paul, I think the win rate has been incredible. I think it's 9 out of the last 10 motos. Well, now it's 10 out of the last 11 motos is won. I mean, that's a championship form that you cannot defeat. I mean, the people, and
he's only won 18 in the season, so he's won half of his races in the last 5 Grand Prix.
And it's like people like Clement Dossal, Christophe Pourcel, Gauthier Paulin must look at that and think, well, where do I start?
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone from like tracks like this, heavily rutted. We've gone to
the mud in
Latvia,
Brazil,
Russia. It's you know, the sand of Lirop, where the guy's untouchable. It's he's really been on it this year.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just a. I mean, they've got the champagne on ice.
Six-pack, Tony.
Actually, I do know what it says on there. I'm well informed, I hope, as to what the T-shirts say. But
Google Translate, Paul.
No, it's a food-related.
Oh, okay.
Cairoli then out of the penultimate corner. He's about to start his final lap on what is going to be a very memorable occasion for him. A 5-time world champion already at the moment. Just goes by Milko Podolzek, the HDI Honda France rider. Just went by Brian McKenzie a moment ago, the STR KTM rider. The journalists are waiting down there, the crew are down there as well. And he's not going to want to celebrate too much, but he might just start acknowledging.
I'm pretty sure he would have looked at his pit board there, Paul, and thought, right, how much time have I got? Can I have a play around? Because that's just typical of him.
Look at that.
And, you know, six world titles, but I think it ties him with Joel Robert, the second most successful motocrosser in the history of the sport.
Yeah, and he's already overtaken him in terms of Grand Prix victories. But see the crowd there just a moment ago. That sums up the day here and the occasion, doesn't it? It's just party time central. And not too dissimilar to what we would see in maybe like a MotoGP crowd. You know, the crowd stacked up on the hillside and loving every minute of it.
That's what they've come for. It's what they've come for.
Yeah, six-pack Tony, but there was also another one with Carbonara Cairoli on it as well. So, you know,
favourite dish. Apparently. Yeah. We did a photo shoot with him on Thursday with a Formula 1 team, and he was a bit late. So I said to his girlfriend Jill, you know, Tony will have to get the spaghetti on. I'll bring the eggs because, you know, come on, let's get it going. But I mean, the guy's a dream to work with.
Yeah, he did the onboard lap for us on Saturday as well. There they are making their way up though, headed by Valentina and everybody else. And the onboard lap, and I said, no, if you do win then this weekend the title on home soil, you're going to celebrate with a big bowl of pasta, carbonara. He went, yeah, everybody loves everybody loves carbonara, everybody loves it in our team. Everyone's happy when we have carbonara, so that'll be it. But he'll have to keep that on the pan for another sort of few hours at least. He's got another moto to go. But six-pack Tony.
Great job.
High five Tony last year, remember?
Yeah. I think he's going to have. I wouldn't be surprised if he have some sort. He's going to have some sort of dish, isn't he? Paul, going to have a feast.
I would think so. Six-pack, maybe just get himself down the Harp and Carquest route as well, like with a beer, as maybe, you never know. But here he is anyway, Tony Cairoli, factory Red Bull KTM Racing. It's been another impressive performance there. It's been another spectacular year for him as well. Eases down past pit lane. The crew aren't there, they're just around here in a couple corners time. He gives it a big old panic rev, he lights the candles. Tony Cairoli is world champion for the 6th time. And he rides right into the arms of his fans and the team here just on the start straight as he begins to celebrate. We've got an onboard camera there as well on Tony Cairoli. Amy Dargan hasn't got a chance of getting in there for an interview this time around.
Someone just throw her in, you know, to get on someone's shoulders, I think.
Here we go. Tony Cairoli about to get in there up on the shoulders, but it's pandemonium down there, as you'd expect, as Cairoli wins here his first ever world title, believe it or not, on home soil.
It's like David Philippart's in 08, you know, an Italian winning in front of Italians, almost last GP. It's
somebody's already pulled the goggles off the helmet, and he's not going to see them again.
Up on the bike.
Here he is, Tony Cairoli, world champion. Hey, there we go. Bit of expense caused there to some of the cameras, but they won't care about that either, as long as they've got the shot beforehand. But he really is a special guy, isn't he, Adam Wheeler?
Yeah. I mean, he's a fantastic ambassador for the sport as well. You know, as a proactive agent, the publicity and everything, but he really makes an effort.
Yeah, and I'd expect quite an emotional day, an emotional weekend for him as well. So the party continues down there on the start line. Tony Cairoli, our winner. Is he revving that bike? I think he is, isn't he? He's giving it the big old revs, the big beans.
Who's that coming in there? Ken Didika,
yeah, Didika comes in. Obviously, Christophe Pourcel nowhere to be seen, but I'm sure he will. They do say that they get on well, they're good friends and all the rest of it. But Didika got home in 4th place eventually.
Just beat Simpson on the last lap.
So that would have been very, very close. So in all the celebrations, Cairoli comes over the line as a winner. 377, Christophe Pourcel second. DeSalle third, his World Championship now over. Didika 4th. Sean Simpson had to settle for 5th in the end. Oh, there she is. Here she is.
How are you feeling?
Here's
I
Amy.
know it's amazing to win here in Italy, especially win the race, the first race. I have no...
I have no words. I'll just let the crowd do it for me. It's going to take him a while just to get back to the truck. Yeah, we'll do that again in a bit.
Those people are banging on his lid. I bet he thinks he just wants to get out of there a little bit. He just done a motor of stones flicking at his helmet, you know, from back markers for the last 20 minutes.
And then he's just got not so gentle giants just banging on his bumps just as he tries to ride off. It's not going to be hot out there either, is he? You know what I mean? He just wants to get a nice cold shower.
He doesn't need a drink or anything. It's, you know. Oh, we can't be cynical, Paul. It's a magic moment.
Of course it is. And, you know, I mean, I love it. You know, I love the celebrations they get. I'm guessing it should have been a little bit more extravagant than that, but no one gave them room, did they? There was just the T-shirts.
Victory, a lap of honour. I mean, this is, you know, we don't tend to do we don't need a cool-down lap, do we?
No.
But, hope he doesn't get taken out by the track.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine, but just go around it. There we go. Shortcut.
It's got to be a knack-knack, I suppose.
So Tony Cairoli then on his lap of honour. All the journalists are over the other side of the track now, so they're all going to miss this.
Yeah.
You know, with the fans just greeting him there and everything, but yeah. Is that another pair of goggles or is that gloves? Tony Cairoli just celebrates a half a lap of honour then in front of the home fans here who turned out just to see one thing, Tony Cairoli being crowned world champion, but he does it in fine style by winning the first moto here and putting enough points between him and Clément DeSalle to wrap up his first world title on home soil.
And we saw a picture there, Paul, of team manager Claudia De Carli and girlfriend Jill Cox. So it's, you know, it's been a while coming because, you know, he's just been dominant in this second phase of the season.
Yeah, and let's not forget, he's won every single one of his world titles with Claudia De Carli from the Yamaha days right the way through now to KTM. 3 in a row with KTM and MX1, all on the 350. Yamaha 450 before that. But Tony Cairoli, what can we say? 2 race wins is how he started the season at Valconsoir. Took a little bit of a dip for the next 3 motos, but then he was back to winning ways. Second moto in Italy and Mexico, but it was a while, round 6, before he picked up another double race win at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France. Of course, he repeated that in Belgium, round 8. And then since Semiguri in Russia, he's been unbeatable, undefeated in moto wins. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 wins now on the bounce. And he's already had 9 Grand Prix victories in 2012. Tony Cairoli is your 2012 world champion once again. And we tried to grab a quick word with him, but we weren't overly successful in that attempt to do that, but this is what it was all about for Cairoli. He's got a lot of fans all over the world. Even Chris Warren, our blue flag guy, our clerk of the course down there, just giving him a round of applause as well. Thoroughly well deserved, and what a party it's going to be tonight. Well, we're not going to see anything on the podium just yet, but that gives you a glimpse of what it's going to be like after the second moto. Of course, if he ends up on the podium in any position this weekend, but going by the first race performance, he just was simply sensational. Again, Tony Cairoli, as always, didn't hang around, getting to the front this time. We'll give you the official confirmation now, though, of the race 1 result here at Faenza, round 15 of the championship. Cairoli wins it then from Christophe Pourcel. Moto championship is over now in third. De Dijker got back to fourth, having passed Simpson on the last lap. Then it was Leon Paulin and Bobachev. Coppins was in ninth. Sebastian Pourcel 10th, Strybos 11th, Guarnieri 12th, Xavier Bourg, Podesek, Brian McKenzie, Mark Deruva, Jamie Law, August Just, Graham Owen and Gregory Aranda. So both the STR KTMs, the Steve Turner Racing machines, picking up good points in that first race. Max Nagel went off on the first lap, somewhere between the first and the second turn with another rider. Rui Gonçalves, we lost him and maybe a third of the way or so through the race. And we're not sure what his situation is, but he was being attended to for a lap or so. Championship done and dusted for Tony Cairoli. Can't be caught. DeSalle going to have to settle for second. He's got enough points over Gauthier Paulin for third, but that battle's still on between... In fact, second place is still up for grabs, because DeSalle, before we came here, was 48 points clear of Clément DeSalle. Clément DeSalle was clear, 48 points of Gauthier Paulin, who was 16 points ahead of Christophe Pourcel. So Pourcel and Paulin, that's going to be the battle in the second moto, as Clément DeSalle just tried to do enough to stay more than 50 points clear of the two French Kawasaki riders and guarantee himself another second place finish in the World Championship. Well, we're going down to the winning circle to grab a quick word with, hopefully, our race winner and new world champion, and Tony Cairoli. That's, of course, if he's made it back safely, but he rode his way out of the hustle and the bustle, the melee. Managed to do half a sighting lap, so I'm guessing he's down there, and so the crowd look. Here we go, here's Tony.
Tony, congratulations. 6 world titles, how the hell does that feel?
Yeah, it feels amazing, you know, and also take it here in Italy, it's something special, and with all these people around, it's something great. I have still the chicken skin from everybody cheering me on all the race. Actually, I had some problem with my rear brake after the last 5-6 laps. I was without rear brake, so it was pretty good racing for me. I surprised myself on this track, so I'm really happy, double happy.
Congratulations.
The chicken skin, so goose pimples to the regular person, but a great day, a great ride, great performance. And still got a round to go, but Tony Cairoli goes Route 1. He wins the World Championship after Moto number 1. He can relax now and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Tony Cairoli, a 6-time World Champion. So the crowd make the way from the podium area. Tony Cairoli tries to get back to his motorhome and get ready for the second race. That's all for us here now. We'll see you in about an hour's time. But in 15 minutes, we've got our MX Live TV show with Josh Coppin, Zach Osborne and Thomas Traversini, the team manager for Team Italy. We'll see you then. Bye for now.